So coming in to day 2 of the strongest man on earth, we have Trey Mitchell leading on 45 points with Tom Stoltman on 42.5 in second. And then we have Evan Singleton and Thomas Evans on 39.5 in third place. One of the craziest parts is that there's only 15 points splitting first place to 13th. And there's only 9.5 from first to 8th. So there's a lot that can change on day 2. So let's talk about the first event, which was the trap bar deadlift for max weight. So I'm going to go through every single person's first round, second round and third round, and we'll reel them off pretty quick. Got my notes in front of me, so I'm just going to read it off there for you. Maxime opened on 8:06, Guardione 8:16, Dawinski 8:46, Tom Stoltman 8:76, Hoth 8:86, Bryce 9:07, Eddie Williams 9:27 and failed because he had a problem with the straps. Foytu 9:47, Thomas Evans 9:47 as well, which was one of the easiest opening lifts. Trey also 9:47, Josh Spurgeon 9:57, then Evan, Lucas Hatton and Austin all on 9:67 with Evans looking the easiest. Maxime failed 8:46 in round 2 and also failed 8:76 in round 3. He tried to take a leap in the third round. Then we had Guardione 8:66, Dawinski 9:07, Eddie Williams, Tom Stoltman, Tristan Hoth all getting 9:27, Bryce Johnson 9:57, looked relatively easy as well. Foytu 1007, it was slow but pretty strong the entire way through. Josh Spurgeon 1027, it looked too heavy to be honest, he didn't come out for a third lift. Evans also got 1027, Thomas Evans that is. Lucas Hatton 1037, very strong lift. Lucas Hatton really manages to get his legs into this and make it much more of like a squatting movement, better than anybody else could anyway. And then we had Trey and Austin both on 1047 and Evan Singleton with what was the easiest lift at 1057. It seems that the trap bar really suits his more aggressive style of lifting as opposed to a regular deadlift. Round 3, like I said, Maxime went out, failed his lift. Nick Guardione 9:17. I think it would have been better to go for 9:27 because there was a few guys that tied on that and he looked like he had a bit more in him. Wes was good for 9:47. Tom failed 9:47. Tristan Hoth failed 9:57. Eddie Williams got 1007. So he came back round 2, hit 9:27, obviously fixed the technical issue that he had, then added, 80 pounds and pulled it. It was a big grind, but he still pulled it. Bryce Johnson also 1007, he looked like he had a few more pounds in him. Foytu failed 1037, so he was on 1007 as well. Thomas Evans 1057, really good tactics to take third place on this event overall. Trey failed 1087, so he got stuck on 1047. It just tilted forward and then the strap slipped, so he didn't get the lift. And Evan and Lucas both hit 1134 and both looked like they had more in them. And Austin failed 1134, got it to the knees, but couldn't get it all the way. So placings for this event, we had Maxime in last 8:16, Nick in second last 9:17. We then had Tom and Tristan Hoth on 9:27, Wes 9:47, Josh Spurgeon 9:57, Eddie Williams, Bryce Johnson and Andre Foytu on 1007, Trey and Austin both on 1047, Thomas Evans 1057, Evan and Lucas on 1134, and that means the results. Trey Mitchell is still in the lead on 57.5, but Evan Singleton is now in second on 55, with Thomas Evans in third still on 53.5. Lucas Hatton in fourth on 51.5, Austin 50.5 in fifth. Tom Stoltman has dropped down to seventh place on 48 points. Going into the yoke next, I will get the results and bring them to you as soon as possible. Guys, before I talk about this, let me just say that after this event, there is 1.5 points separating first and fifth. 2 events left. That's how close it is. So the first round of the super yoke was 1,217 pounds. Everybody passed apart from Maxime Boudreau and Nick Guardione, and then we moved up to 1,417 pounds. On this weight, we had Tristan Hoth go out first, and he did it in 11.86 seconds, which was enough for the event win. The only other person who finished was Austin Andrade in 17.94 seconds. Nobody else managed to finish the yoke. That's how heavy this thing was. It looked absolutely brutal, but Tristan Hoth absolutely destroyed the event. The biggest shock is probably Trey Mitchell. He was the third worst out of the people who did round two, so he came fifth last, and that's put him a bit further down the leaderboard going into the last two events. Lucas Hatton got the furthest of anybody that didn't finish it. We then had Bryce Johnson, Thomas Evans, Evan Singleton, Tom Stoltman, Andre Foytu, Josh Spurgeon, Trey Mitchell, Dewinski, and Eddie Williams, who didn't manage to lift it at all. Meaning that going into the last two events, Evan Singleton is on top with 66 points. We then have three people tied on 65.5 points. That is Lucas Hatton, Thomas Evans, and Austin Andrade. And then Trey Mitchell on 64.5 in fifth. Then there's a little bit of a drop to 62, who's Bryce Johnson. Seventh is Tom Stockman on 58. But two events to go. Chest press up next. And honestly, at this rate, I couldn't tell you who's going to win. I think it's going to be Evan Singleton, and I'm not sure who predicted that. I think it was. I predicted that this could come back to bite me. Evan could still not win it, but he is in prime position to take his first major title. Standing chest press is done, and despite a bit of a malfunction in the equipment, it was a really good event. I'm basically just going to talk about the top three though, which were Lucas Hatton, Evan Singleton, and Thomas Evans. Lucas Hatton got all of them and then got 3 reps on the last one. Evan and Thomas Evans got 2 reps on the last one. So Hatton has done more than anybody else has ever done on that event. Trey Mitchell got the last one, but no additional reps, which leaves us with the leaderboard going into the last event. Lucas Hatton in the lead, 1 point ahead of Evan Singleton. So Hatton is on 81.5, Evan is on 80.5, and Thomas Evans, who I don't think many people knew he was very good, but he is on 80 points. There's 1.5 separating the top 3. Tom Stockman has dropped down to 7th. He's out of the contention for a podium spot. He's probably going to finish in 7th place, but his bicep is incredibly bruised, and I think it has been since yesterday, but he's not said anything about it. He's just seen it on the live stream. It looks like quite a bad muscle tear, to tell you the truth. Trey Mitchell is back 77.5, and then Austin Andrade 76.5. So really, it's those top 3 who are still in contention to win it. I think it's going to be Evan Singleton, because I think he can beat both Thomas Evans and Lucas Hatton on this last event. But wow, what a show it's been. And I'll catch up with you after the power stairs to let you know who is the 2025 strongest man on earth. Brian Shaw has just announced the 2025 strongest man on earth. So going into the power stairs, Evan needed to beat Lucas by more than 1 place. So he needed to beat Lucas and have one person in between. And Thomas Evans needed to effectively do the same, but for both of them. And the 2025 strongest man on earth is Evan the T-Rex Singleton. He did it in 44 seconds. Lucas did it in 52, and Bryce Johnson in 48. Got in between them. Guys, it is 4 a.m. in the morning. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.